Bienvenidos todos a la asamblea de clausura del mes de la herencia hispana en nuestra escuela Forest Grove. Welcome to the closing assembly for the Hispanic Heritage Month here at Forest Grove Middle School. We take this month to celebrate, highlight, and recognize the many contributions of many Hispanics in our community and our country. By the way, how many of you in the audience are Hispanic? Then I want to see which Hispanic countries are represented here today. If I call your country, I want you to stand with pride and make some noise. That goes for the same way for students in our classroom that are joining us through the Google Meet. A ver, Costa Rica, España, muy bien. Honduras, México, Nicaragua, Chile, Panamá, Perú, Cuba, Colombia, muy bien, Colombia, Argentina, Ecuador, Bolivia, Uruguay, Venezuela, Guinea Ecuatorial, Guatemala, El Salvador, anybody else? República Dominicana. Y ahora, Puerto Rico. I congratulate you all and encourage you to treasure and cherish your roots and your heritage. Feliz mes de la herencia hispana. I'm now going to call Mr. Tremba, our school principal.
Good afternoon. So to start off, I first want to start and say thank you to our incredible staff for all their support. What an incredible month. A special thank you to our world language teachers for all of their hard work. I'll wait. Great job with all of our trivia questions. And I think one of my takeaways already is what an amazing group of students we have. Specifically how we are all so global in our school, with students representing many countries, many areas of the world. And so I want to say thank you, students. You want me to introduce? And with that being said, we're going to move right on with our program.
Someone doing an introduction part.
Okay, great.
No, actually, we haven't done that, so then we start that. Okay.
And so here we go. Let's enjoy the show.
I would now like to welcome to our school a special group that is here with us today. You haven't seen them yet. They're over here on the back preparing for all of you. So let's settle down. Excuse me. Thank you. Ellos son el grupo de danza de la Virgen del Cisne. La danza folklore is one of the several artistic expressions that aim to transmit customs, traditions, and beliefs of the Ecuadorian people, in which together with their clothing and musical instruments, tell a story that reflect cultural identity. This group aims to pass on traditional dances to future generations. They have been doing different presentations and appearances in different events in our community, and they are here with us today. Let's hear it one more time for el grupo de danza de la Virgen del Cisne. Thank you very much. We continue now with the introduction of our speaker today, Ms. Ramsey.
Hola, hola. ¿Cómo están? Pues qué bueno, qué bueno. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marisol Ramsey, one of the Spanish teachers here at Forest Grove. It is a pleasure of mine to introduce you to our guest speaker for the 2023 Forest Grove Hispanic Heritage Month celebration, Mr. Eric Batista. Here we are, boys and girls, here we are to celebrate who we are, Hispanics. We celebrate our dear African heritage, our indigenous heritage, and our Spanish heritage as well. And we as Hispanics, we are very diverse. We embrace other cultures as well. Mr. Eric Batista is the city manager of the city of Worcester, and he was born in Puerto Rico. Boys and girls, what is a city manager? A city manager works with and oversees many departments in the city. All of the department heads for the city report to a city manager at the administrative level, including law enforcement, fire, education, and sanitation. A city manager focuses on keeping the city running smoothly, making sure that the day-to-day responsibilities of the various departments are executed promptly. Let's welcome Mr. Eric Batista.
¿Dónde están los boricuas? I am very excited to be here. I was just telling my chief of staff that this is probably the best day of the week, if not the year. So I'm very excited to be here. You know, it brings great joy to see all of you this morning. And I know many of you are excited to be here because you don't have to be in class. But just know that when you're at an assembly, this brings a lot of anxiety to your teachers and professionals standing around. But you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. So I'm going to share a little bit about me and share a little few words to all of you as well. Words of encouragement and words that I hope that you can take back with you as a Latino and Hispanic here in the city of Worcester, just like myself. So I want to thank all of you for having me here to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with you. To me, it's an honor. For those of you who don't know me, like I was introduced, my name is Eric Batista, and I am the city manager of Worcester. And I'm very proud to say that I'm the first Hispanic as a city manager and also the first person of color in this role in the city. Now, I know that many of you may not know or have an idea of what it is to be a city manager, or what's even a city manager. I didn't either. That's okay. I didn't find out till I was later in my 20s. But what does a city manager do? And don't we have a mayor? Yes, we do have a mayor. But I'm the city manager. I'm not the mayor. So briefly, like it was said in my bio, the city manager is hired and appointed by the mayor and the city council. And while I know none of you are old enough to vote yet, I just want you to know this year's election, so go back and tell your families to vote this year because it's election year. But back to my duties. So what is a city manager? What is a city manager? A city manager is a CEO. It's just Chief Executive Officer. So basically, I serve as the Chief Executive Officer of the City of Worcester and manage administration, the city budget, I hire employees, I make sure departments like Public Works run efficiently so your trash and recycling gets picked up, and if it didn't get picked up, I'm sorry, it should have. And work with the mayor and city council to help them create and enforce new laws and policies. I always say that many of you, when you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth, how many of you brush your teeth in the morning? I better see every hand up. Yeah, check around you who didn't raise their hand. All right. You can put your hands down. You can put your hands down. So when you wake up in the morning, and you brush your teeth, that water that comes out of your faucet, it should be clean. It should be clear, right? If it's brown, you better call me and let me know. But it should be clean, right? It should be clear. That water is the City of Worcester government, my staff, making sure that that water comes down your faucets and it's make sure it's clear. When you flush the toilets and that water and the stuff goes somewhere, there's a sewer department that makes sure that the sewer system is managing and operating that. Those are my employees making sure that happens. So I was appointed city manager in December. I was appointed permanent city manager about a year ago, and I've been working for the City of Worcester since 2012, so it's been about 10 years since I worked there. But before I got my foot in the door working for the government, I was sitting where you are today. I didn't go to Forest Grove. I went to East Middle, so I'm an East Middle kid. Don't hate. So I went to East Middle. But that was a long time ago. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. My family arrived here from Puerto Rico, so I'm Puerto Rican. I arrived here from Puerto Rico when I was only 7 years old. I'm from the town of Canóvanas in Puerto Rico. We moved here to Worcester, and I didn't know a word of English. I didn't know anything of English. I only knew how to say mother and father. That's the only thing I knew how to say. Everything else was in Spanish. And coming here to Worcester, it was a huge culture shift for me. Not understanding the culture and the many different nations that you see in a classroom and in this environment. It was very different. And it may be different for many of you here who came when you were younger or maybe recently to Worcester. Fortunately, right from the start, my family was supported by Hispanic families in programs like Centro Las Americas, which provided cultural tailored resources that helped my family adapt to our new community. I also managed to become proficient in English. By the time I was about in 5th grade, that's when I was actually able to take English classes. And in large part, thanks to the Worcester Public Schools, who actually had a bilingual program that helped me to understand and learn the English language. I was also supported along the way by some incredible teachers and mentors. And so just like many of you have teachers in this room, I was also supported by many teachers, and I know that you are too. So I also want to take a moment to recognize and appreciate the work that your teachers do today. Yeah, give them a round of applause. So then, after East Middle, I went to North High School. So I went to North. And then later, I went to UMass Amherst before I eventually earned my master's degree right near here at Assumption College. So during my time in working, my first few years, I started working with College Access. And I then started to work at Latino Education Institute, where I met so many motivated students, just like you. And it was my job to help them achieve their dreams by becoming sure they had access to support and resources across the city. My job and what I believed in was that I wanted students I work with to know just how much opportunity there was to help shape their path forward. So not only was I paying forward the support that I had received, but I also saw myself in many of those students, just as I see myself in many of you here today. And I want to point out a key shared experience and identity that many of us have. While it's true that many of you in this room are bilingual, just as important, and I want you to understand this, just as important that you speak a different language is that you also are bicultural. You also are bicultural. That brings me to my message for today. And so my message for you young people today is don't forget to hold on to your heritage. Don't forget to hold on to your roots. Your cultural customs, like we saw from Ecuador, traditions, and food. ¿Cuánto le gustan el mofongo? Y el mangú, el mangú, el mangú. Right? Your traditions, your food, and your clothes, the way you dress, that plays a big part of your individual story, in your particular story. So I'm going to tell you this, young people, and I want you to listen to this. Don't let anyone prevent you from communicating. Listen to me. Don't let anyone prevent you from communicating in your natural language, and never stop being true to who you are, ever. To quote the last Presidential Medal of Excellence. So the last Presidential Medal of Excellence went to a Latino, Jaime Escalante. And this is one of the things that Jaime Escalante said. One of the greatest things you have in life is that no one has the authority to tell you what you want to be. You're the one who they'll decide, you're the one who'll decide that you want to be. Respect yourself and respect the integrity of others as well. The greatest thing you have in your self-image is your self-image and a positive opinion of yourself. You must never let anyone take that away from you. So I'll be the first person to acknowledge that it's not going to be easy, and it isn't always easy to do that. It could almost feel like having two different identities. It's like feeling like you have two different identities. And it can weigh on you at school, at work, at home, at church, and anywhere else you go. But you aren't alone in your experience. And we are fortunate to be in a welcoming city, in a diverse city like Worcester. So I'm happy to lead a city that embraces our Hispanic culture, a city where I can find organizations and services that address my specific needs as a Latino, raising a bilingual and bicultural son. So I have a son, a 3-year-old named Lucas. One that offers educational resources and financial aid. A community that uplifts and encourages our cultural traditions, from faith to food. So I want you to listen to this. Worcester's Hispanic community continues to grow, overall comprising about a quarter of the population. A quarter. 1/4. And it's over 40%. You're the majority, the Latinos, Hispanics, you are the majority in the Worcester Public School System at 40% of the population of the Worcester Public School System. So I'm excited to see more and more Hispanic leaders emerge across sectors in our city and who are pioneers in the field, from education to politics to health and human services to business, commerce, and faith-based organizations. Your Worcester Public Schools Superintendent, who is a strong and capable leader, Superintendent Rachel Monares, who recognizes the importance of multilingual education and access, which is critical since over 70 languages, you know that over 70 languages are spoken in the Worcester Public Schools and are represented throughout all your teachings, including Spanish. In fact, Spanish is the second most common language in the United States and the 4th globally. every year the number of people in the U.S. who speak a language other than English at home increases. It is the official language in over 20 countries across 4 continents. But it's so common on the internet that someone who can speak both English and Spanish can communicate with 1/3 of all internet users. If you Latinos were their own country, so think about this, if our US Latinos were their own country, we would have the 5th largest economy in the world, bigger than India and the United Kingdom. If only the Latinos of the United States become their own country. Our purchasing power as Latinos is $3.4 trillion. That means your dollars and your money is worth it, and is growing twice as fast as those of non-Latinos. And here are a couple stats you might be more interested in. Who likes reggaeton? So driven by reggaeton, listen to this, driven by reggaeton, Latin music is dominating the US and global music charts. US Latin music revenues increased to a record high of $627 million the first half of this year, now making up of 7.5% of the market share and being the second fastest growing genre in the world. And that's reggaeton, a Hispanic Latino genre. Who's the number 1 in the charts? Bad Bunny. He's the most streamed artist on Spotify 3 years in a row. But there's another woman who's close by, and that's Karol G. And Karol G, she has the most YouTube streams this year, with almost 4 billion streams on YouTube. She has the highest, Karol G. Who went to the concert last week of Karol G? I'm jealous, I wanted to go. But listen to this too, And Karol G, if you didn't know, she's Colombian. She was also the first woman to debut the Billboard 200 with an all Spanish language album, and just became the first Spanish speaking artist to headline at Gillette Stadium. That's Karol G, a woman representing the Latino community. And I also bet that I'm in the room with some people who were there, like I said earlier. But getting back on track, being bilingual, and I want you to listen to this because it's important. It was very important to me, and it should be important to you and to your parents and your families. Being bilingual and bicultural also brings with it many practical advantages. As city manager, being bilingual has enabled me to connect with and relate to more residents and community partners. There is a sense of trust and comfort that comes with being able to speak the same language as those you serve, both literally and figuratively. And just yesterday, I was at an event, at a meeting, and there was a group of individuals who spoke Spanish, and as soon as they approached them, and I started to speak in Spanish, they opened up, embraced me, and you can tell the relational happened right away. And I hope that seeing a Hispanic city manager, I hope that you seeing me as a city manager inspires you and more people, whether they are immigrants, first-generation students, or longtime residents who don't speak English as their primary language, to see leaders with similar experiences to their own. Like me, my parents didn't go to college. My dad was a barber, and my mom worked as a secretary. She actually works at Burncoat Middle as a secretary. In a similar way, you are role models. You are role models for the next generation of bicultural students that are behind you. In the words of Hispanic Heritage Foundation President and CEO Antonio Tijerino, You're not lucky to be here. The world needs your perspective, and they are lucky to have you. The world is lucky to have you. So remember that as you move on in life, whether you choose to go to college, enter civil service, pursue higher education, a job, own a business, or trade, you will always carry your heritage with you. But don't be afraid to seek out others who can positively influence you and provide you with the tools to succeed. And what you achieve will inspire others. What you do will inspire other people. I guarantee that. I know that you're up to the task, and I can't wait to see how your generation leads our community in the future. But for today and in this moment, Hispanic Heritage Month is a time to be proud of being a Latino and a Hispanic, and to embrace the community around you that shares those experiences and your experiences. So I'll leave you with the words of a wise man that I mentioned earlier. And so I'm going to quote Bad Bunny, and this is what Bad Bunny said. Listen to what he said. He said, "Be proud to be Latino and never lose that pride." Thank you, and viva los Latinos. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Batista, for taking the time out of your busy schedule and being with us today. We really appreciate it. And on behalf of our principal and our school community, we have thank you and appreciation gift for you. So please come up and get it from Ms. Ramsey.
Mr. Batista, muchas gracias. Es un pequeño regalo para usted. A little thing to enjoy with your friend.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Thank you very much.
I got cookies and chocolate-covered strawberries. Woo!
I now ask Spanish teacher to join me up here, because I know many of you are waiting to see who won our poster competitions and those on the daily trivia. So first, let me say that we had a lot of great submissions, a lot of great posters. There's a lot of talent. And each Spanish teacher had to pick one winner. But then we also picked other posters to highlight over here. Let's look at these honorable mentions. Mariam Garas from the Cougars. Mackenzie O'Brien from the Huskies. Michelle Banan, Engineers. Gianna Porcaro, Terriers. Vanessa Bermejo from the MCATs. Sarah Hoxa from the AMCATs. Joanna Sinelli from the Minutemen. And now let's talk about the winners. So the names that I call now will come up and get a prize from our teachers. Remember, each Spanish teacher chose one winner from the two clusters they work with. From the MCAS and Grain House, the poster winner is Isabella Rodriguez. Come on up. From the Minutemen and Terriers, the poster winner is Fee Lamb. Come on up. From the Huskies and Engineers, Leah Saray Garcia, poster winner. Catherine Amancra from the Eagles and Cougars with this amazing portrait of Selena Quintanilla. Coming up. Congratulations.
para vivir el momento, para entender destino. Voy a escuchar el silencio para contar el camino.
¿Y para qué llorar? ¿Para qué? Si duele una pena, se olvida. ¿Y para qué sufrir? ¿Para qué? Si duele una pena, se olvida. La la ley.
That is all for our Hispanic Heritage Month Assembly. I want to thank all these people, all this group, for all your commitment and all your hard work in having this assembly possible. Thank you all, and we'll see you next year.